Select that. Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Spin Rack. I'm here with my boy PD and Kyle. Say what's up, gents.
What's going on?
Ready to rock.
Always excited to see them. So here, today we're going to be talking about Star Trek Strange New World trailer. The Selector has a special selection for us. Can you please hit us with it, Selector?
All right.
Can you hit it with us, Selector?
Yes.
Go.
I was able to jury-rig the Kirkovian serum that turned human Spock back into a Vulcan. Should be able to do the same for us.
Yeah, this is great.
In reverse.
The sensory change is brief. The feeling is instantaneous.
New hairdo, yes.
Acclimated, which should not take long. Physical adjustments follow soon after. I would suggest a deep breath. By the time you reach 3, it should be over. 1, 2.
You know she wants to turn into a Vulcan.
3.
Yeah, they just be having too much fun on this show.
My emotions.
After the Inhumans, anything is better.
You don't feel anything?
No. And to be honest, I'm a little jealous. That looked like fun.
This feeling is...
Whoa.
Got
My
moves.
perception has
Got
increased.
dreads.
Everything I once found dull now seems to be fascinating.
Poop.
I wonder if the serum did not work on you because you're lanthanite.
Honestly, I had the same problem with LSD in the 1960s and the 1990s and last July.
Since Pelliot cannot become Vulcan, I can cover her part of the mission.
I suppose I can direct you from the bridge. 5 Vulcans should be more than enough down there.
4 1/2.
Spock is only half Vulcan, whereas the
Oh.
4 are fully Vulcan.
Is that not logical? Spock.
Oh, no.
Where'd he get
That's
the
where you
boots?
that's where you tell him, kiss my...
It is.
He's pulling rank on Spock.
Yeah, but logically, they're not Vulcans. They've been manipulated.
Yeah, exactly. But it's just being cute.
They're just trying to get at Spock.
That should be at the back. Not a full Vulcan.
He just be trying to have too much fun.
Yeah, this is great.
Wow. So pointy.
Oh, the Scotty.
1. 4 1/2 Vulcans to beam down.
Oh, my God.
Energize.
Status report. Mitchell?
They've entered the structure.
That was fast.
All areas inside the structure are secured.
Well, this will likely take a few hours. There's a very complex...
Radiation normal.
What? Already?
Enterprise. The energy system is now repaired.
All atomic levels are nominal. The energy source is functioning perfectly.
You sound upset.
Well, yeah. They're making me look bad.
We have completed the mission. You may return us to Enterprise.
Well, this will be a bit more exciting. But whatever. Hello, shore leave.
I haven't even broken into a sweat.
You'll come back.
I believe we will still be able to reach Permanente 3 within expected travel parameters.
I'm almost disappointed not to be able to take further advantage of my temporary Vulcan abilities. Agreed. My communication style has never been so efficient.
How was the mission for you, Mr. Spock?
Ironic. Because I was constantly reminded that I was logically the least Vulcan member present.
Worry. That's about to change. Any second.
Something tells me no.
There's Chapel. What was that subvocalization?
What do you see?
For reasons unknown, the Kharkovian serum does not appear to be working. It appears that we will remain Vulcans indefinitely.
No, Spock can't handle that. So we're more Vulcan than him.
Here we go.
Oh, yo, that's good. When is it? When is the episode coming up?
I don't know.
Yo, dude, that was pretty good. You know, I have not watched much Strange New Worlds. I've watched 1 or 2 here.
You're out. We're kicking you out.
Yeah, you gotta go. Get out.
And no, but the ones
You're
that
out.
have all
No,
been
you're
pretty
out.
good.
Go. No, log off. We'll tell you when to come back. You can do another show. Get out.
It returns in 2025.
We're not playing with you. Get out.
I got the ball, okay, Lucy. So we're playing my game.
Wow, this guy is funny.
Yo, so I'm gonna hit the ball
this
over
is
to
you're like
Cal.
a half spinner rack because you haven't watched the show. You're not a true fan. You're just
Can't believe we're doing the show. And you could have just played it cool. You're like, nah, I don't watch the show.
No,
that's another reason why you almost got kicked off of here.
Oh my gosh. So yo, Cal, tell us a little bit about it. What's your take on all this?
Man, don't talk to me. You traitor.
You know what? I'm gonna make you mute right now for the time being.
Yeah, we're not friends. Yeah, I bet you spell friend the same way Nancy Pelosi spells it. Thanks.
Wow.
Oh.
Wow.
Oh.
Ooh, man.
Yo, dude, that was below the belt, man.
So
yeah, that was a little bit,
that was dirty play.
That was a little extreme. I'm sorry for that one. I'm sorry.
Hey, so talk to us a little bit about this. Let's hear what you got to say.
No, the thing is, I think just to backtrack to way back when the motion picture happened, and they said when what was it? Leonard Nimoy said the one thing that was really missing is having the humor when he did a joke why he was going to stay on there, and it related to the doctor, and said since the doctor's here, blah blah blah, and they're like, no, we're not doing that type of Trek, and slowly the humor has crept back in. I think it took a little while for the next generation to get some humor in there.
Yeah, it took a while.
And Voyager tried to keep the same notes as the what's the name as a next generation. I feel like the second season of Deep Space Nine, they kind of found their voice in there. But these guys, they just like having fun here, and it's been a fun series. They've updated some things, added some speed to some of the villains, of course, but this has been fun, and it's good seeing whereas the Christopher Pike has been able to see a little bit more of him, whereas initially, of course, he was a man of action, which is a testament of the past spacemen type of deal, the astronauts, and he's been able to add. He's always cooking, he's always doing all this stuff, and he's allowed his character to go through a lot of turns. Not always as the hero point. When they do the fairy tale, he was like the guile. He was like the sniveling kind of character. So they just seem to be having a lot of fun. The toughest character in there, she actually had a soft note last season. So yeah, I look forward to this season, this series. It's my favorite so far of the new batch of stuff. What say you, Cal?
It's really cool when you watch a show and it's not just fun, but you can tell the actors are having fun, which means the writers are having fun, which means it's just a good time overall. And you get that from this series. I was remembering that too from last season. Who was she? She's like the head of security, but she she like kind of got like smitten with Captain Kirk because they had that alternative universe adventure, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna come over here and I'm gonna take a risk and I'm gonna tell him. He's like, yeah, sorry. And I was like, wow, that's saying a lot for Kirk. Kirk is like, nah, I'm sorry, I'm monogamous. I was like, Kirk turned you down? I was like, that's saying a lot. I was like, wow, Kirk is like, nah. Like, nah, you gotta have green skin to get over here. I'm a girlfriend. That was pretty funny. But Yeah, good stuff. You know, they did they did the musical number. I usually hear, I don't know what it is where most people, not most people, but some people have like a real antipathy towards a musical, okay, or a musical episode. They just they just don't like them. But I didn't hear that when they did the musical episode on Star Trek. So I think they've gotten it right for this particular series, which is saying a lot because Pike and Spock came out of, what was that, Discovery?
Yep, yeah,
It
exactly.
was Star Trek Discovery. That first season was tight. The writing was tight. She starts off here, she screws up, and then she understands by the end why she screwed up. You're not Kirk, okay? Not everybody gets to be Kirk, but everybody gets to be a part of Starfleet if you're on Starfleet. That was the more important thing. She gets the lesson. And then slowly but surely, over the course of seasons that come by, she just reverts right back to the person she was in the first season. It was so disappointing. And just after a while, just there was too much agenda going through with the stories as well. And I'm looking like, look, this is supposed to be 4, 5, 600 years in the future. If people are still arguing about it that much into the future, we're never going to get it right. So that really took me out of the show. But in season 2, we did get introduced to Pike and Spock, and I really thought it wasn't going to be too good. But the characters stood out enough that they said, "Hey, let's spin these guys off." And now, even though I will never watch another episode of Discovery, this has been a lot of fun and a great deal of joy to see on a regular basis. Looking forward to this season. The only criticism that I have had is that they ended the last season on a cliffhanger. I can't stand when they do that. There's, time is not promised to anyone, and yet these guys think I'm going to be alive 6, 7 months from now, so I can see the next season come in. Not cool. Not cool. I don't like cliffhangers.
I would say one thing on the cliffhanger, not related, but there's someone who was saying that right now you don't have to watch any post-credit scene for the Marvel Universe because all the past ones don't really matter anymore. We don't know if they're going to connect to anything. So that kind of says when you kind of try to do something where you say, here's this little bit, and or like Benson, where you do a cliffhanger and you're not sure you're going to come back the next season. So I will say one thing, as soon as we brought up Discovery, I think in that season 2, the only thing I struggled with was the first signs of them going emo. Like Pike said goodbye to everybody, and I'm like, they better do it. I don't want this to be the actual final goodbye. And he's going to every ensign. I mean, not really, but everyone, every cast of the show, saying all the things he thought. Because obviously, they thought, Michael was going to die, so there was a big emotional thing. But from that point, the show just kept getting so emotional. It was just like they'd have these heavy emotional goodbyes every 2 seconds. Like, yo, chill. Just didn't they have emotional arguments? No, I can't put the ship through this. I can't. And I said, I can't watch this no more. But I watched till season 3, and I'm sorry to say I didn't. The romance kind of took her away from the ship for too long, and when they brought back to the ship, they weren't connected as much. So, and we lost Michelle Yeoh, but she was obviously doing all these movies and such, these other series. So they had an emotional goodbye for her too. So it was very emo, and
Yeah, they said Michelle Yeoh said, "I got better stuff to do than this series that doesn't know what the hell it wants to be. I'm out of here."
So, but yeah. So Mars, do you have anything to say?
Yeah, I mean, look, I love this whole intro into the very fact that they changed them into Vulcans, and the fact that the first thing they notice is that there's only 4.5 Vulcans. I mean, that just absolutely killed me. And that Spock is not one; is not a full Vulcan. And I know this has been brought up in some of the other series and shows and books and stuff before, but it crystallizes it here. A really fun piece, like you said. That they're able
It crystallizes it when you have people who are not fully Vulcan who get
it
transformed.
crystallizes it that we know now he's not fully Vulcan in the way they're treating him.
But
Where we look at him as we knew he's the smart guy. He's like the uber Vulcan, but in Vulcan eyes, he's not. And
But
we've seen
he already overcame that back on Volk. That was in
we
they
know that we've seen it,
animated.
but I just thought the distill was just good.
But the logic isn't there because they're not really Vulcan. They're just having a go at this dude.
As far as they're concerned, they are Vulcan now.
Here we go.
Their DNA and everything. So that's why.
Look, it's a funny bit because you can see where this episode is going, where they're going to really be having a go at him at the end of the day. So, but you know, the logic, if you're going to go logically, and they're supposed to be logical, they're not Vulcan. Okay, they're human beings who were transformed into being Vulcans.
But now they're considered Vulcan, and they consider themselves much better than.
But they're not Vulcan.
But they're considering themselves much better than that. Wow.
No,
But hey, one thing I do want to bring up is, you guys watched the whole last season. Did you guys do a review of that? No, right? If not, can you give a synopsis?
Of the whole season right now?
No, I couldn't do
We did some episodes of it. We'd have to look through.
We didn't do the whole thing. And to be honest, I wouldn't want to do that. I don't want to do Johnny on the spot with that because it was a good season, and I don't want to shortchange it.
You agree with that, PD?
Yeah. I mean, the episodes we did on it, we were enjoying it, and that sort of thing. So yeah, it's not something we could just go back in and say, yeah, there was a singing one, and and Kirk. And what else was there? He was cooking, and Nurse Chapel curbed him, but at the same time, he still got a hot Vulcan wife to go back to.
Ended on hot Vulcan wife who he doesn't love.
Yo, he need to fix that. He's like, Pike needs to say, yo, look what you got at home. Look what you got at home.
No, we know there's no love lost. We still remember the episode when, she set him up to try to kill Kirk. There's no love lost. We know he's right. There's something wrong with her.
But at the same time, I know I'm sorry. I can't say I'm not gonna do this. I struggled on the original series with Spock had even William Shatner was upset that Spock had the hot blonde on the planet, where he was like he had emotions and whatnot on the planet with the blonde, and he's like I was mad I wasn't on that planet. I wasn't the one. So I never really I liked obviously the actress as number one. I never was really keen on the Nurse Chapel here, but in back in the day. But obviously this Nurse Chapel has been winning, so she's been killing it. I got love for her. So, and no disrespect, obviously, long-standing Star Trek actress in every one of them, in the next generation, in the first series, and of course that character was kind of iffy for me.
Wasn't Nurse Chapel Gene Roddenberry's wife?
Yes.
Yeah. So no, I mean
she was number one. She was super hot as number one. That's why I wanted to see. I like when season 2 of Discovery. Like, we need number one, the first number one, not Riker. Sorry, I had to throw that in. There's a jab, just a little jab.
Jab. All right, so hey, we like it. We want to see the show come back. Anything else you guys say, gents?
That's it. It was a long time coming.
Big thumbs up. We want to watch it. Comment, subscribe. Spin a rack.
We're out.
We're out.